Hi there, I'm Shri, and I want to carry on from the last episode, Building Pong. In the last one, we built, what did we do? We built just a couple of paddles and a ball. Let me just run that. Just have a quick look. Yep, we've got the two paddles and the ball. In this one, what I want to do is get the ball moving, and we can look at some collision. Let's see, I've got a to-do list here. So ball movement, collision with the paddles and with the edges. And if we get far enough, we could look at some scoring and maybe the menu. We'll see how far we get. So to start, let's give the ball some, let's let the ball move. So what I do for this one, we'll just add an update method. And what we can do is the Raylib has a vector add method, so we can use that. So we also need this to be a pointer, so we can change it. So self dot pos equals rl dot math dot vector to add self dot pos and self dot well. So in each frame we will move forward by, or the ball will move by whatever we put in here. Now let's just put in a 1, and we need to call update here. Now let's call that first ball dot update. And what that means is that I realized that I'd put the initialization of these items in the while loop, in the game loop as well, but they really need to go outside so that the changes to them are remembered between each loop. Let's just try running that. Oh yes, so it's can't be const anymore, because we are updating it in the ball.update. And then right here, we are updating the pos, so it can't be const. And let's see how that, oh, there we go. It's moving slowly along and right through. So let's add that in. But before I do that, I should point out that I did merge, sorry, not merge. I added the, so a little bit of code. I didn't commit that on the video, but I did commit it later, and I can just show you what was committed there. It's mainly just the ball and the change to the main. So let me just create a new branch. Let's do that. And what are we doing? We are going to commit. So ball now has an update method, which, so let's do that. So GIA src ball now moves based on velocity. Right, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to make this frame rate independent, because right now, while we have a fixed target FPS, there's no guarantee that it will be 60 frames per second. And we also, we just want to make sure that it'll work regardless of that. So what we also need then is a delta time, so dt, which will be an f32. And what we need to do is we need to find out what the actual time elapsed is, and I don't remember what that one was. Raylib find time elapsed from last frame. Let's see, time, get frame time, get time in seconds for last frame drawn. Great, let's use that. What I like to do is I like to do that bit within the main or the game code, and then pass that into whatever needs it. So const dt equals rl dot get frame time, and then we'll just pass that into here, dt. And what we want to do is we want to find out what the velocity vector would be for that time frame. And this is in milliseconds, or this is in seconds. Let me just double check. Get time in seconds. So what we want to define here is how many pixels do we want it to change? Do we want it to move every second? So let's get that moving by 10 frames. And what we can do is we want to scale the velocity based on the time elapsed, and we add that to the position. So const vel this frame equals rl dot math dot vector to what we want is vector to scale. Let's try just typing it out. Scale it by self dot vel, and it's just dt, and we'll add that here instead. Vel this frame, and let's see what that does. There we go. It should be moving roughly 10 pixels every second. And it's now frame rate independent. So let's take a look at the code that's changed. Yep, that looks about right. Let's add that in. Make ball movement frame rate independent. Great. What's next? So let me just mark that as done. And next we will do collision. So how do we want to do collisions? You could check from the paddle whether it is colliding with the ball, or you can check from the ball whether it's colliding with the paddle. But well, I guess the ball could collide with the paddles or the edges. We could also have, there's a part of me that considers just having a collision checker, and you pass in two objects and you can check it, but that would work better if I had a physics body object in each of them. I'm not sure I want to go to that extent right now. One of the things that we'll want to think about is how we check. So here, how do we make sure that we're checking the correct side of the paddle? And one way I've thought about is if the x position of the paddle is greater than the x position of the ball, then we check the left hand side of the paddle. And if the x position of the ball is greater than the x position of the paddle, then we check the right hand side of the paddle. So I feel like, well, one way of doing it is just to have a function that will return the appropriate edge, and well, it would just give you the appropriate edges x value and the y values, or we check, or we can just check, the paddle can check if it's colliding. Now let's maybe try that to see how that feels. So in paddle, pub fn is colliding self, and we need the ball as well. Oops. And for that we need to import it in const ball equals at import, and then you can get the ball, and this can be a bool. So what we want to do here is first check which edge do we need to check. If self.pos.x greater than ball.pos.x, then we are checking if our x is greater than the ball's x, then we need to check the left side, which is just our position. So so what we want to check is, let's just do const within x, well, crossing x equals, so it's crossing x if ball.pos.x greater than or equal to self.pos.x. Okay, and actually let's put that here, crossing x bool, and that means that we can do the other one here if self dot, actually we could just do an else statement, right? Because if it is not that paddle, it's the other paddle. So else crossing x equals ball.pos.x less than or equal to self.pos.x. Okay, what did I do wrong here? Expected equals, wait, how do I, alright, I can just crossing, oh, that shouldn't be a bool, that should be, oh yeah, it is a bool, bool equals false. That's fine because it's not a nullable, so it needs to have a value. So the next thing that we want to do is, maybe we should just let's so we are in the paddle. Let me just change something here. Color rl dot color, because what I want to do is just add a little bit of debug. rl dot color equals dot white, and then what we can do is if crossing x self dot or wait, we can do it this way, self dot color equals if crossing x, then it should be, let's use red, else white, and then let's see what happens when the ball crosses that boundary. So let's just use self dot color, and then what we also need to do to get this to actually work is we are rendering it there, we are updating, so let's update it, and left paddle dot is colliding ball. We don't care about, oops, we don't care about the return value yet, and let's do that for the right paddle, oops, equals right paddle dot is colliding ball, and it's going to want both of them to be var, and I'm realizing that I need to do that so that they can actually change the values, and let's see what that does. Oh yeah, we are not returning anything, so in this case we'll return the crossing x. So right now we're just doing half the check, we're just checking if it's crossing the x. We'll check the y once this is verified to be working. So what we oh gosh, that's so slow, let me just speed that up. That's in, so let's do, would 100 be too fast? No, that's okay. Expect that to go red, which it didn't do. Okay, strange. So let's see, where did we make the mistake? So if so we're the paddle. If self.pos.x is greater than ball.pos.x, if we are on the right hand side, but actually, regardless, once it goes past it, it should have gone red. But maybe it only goes red for, no, because it's greater than or equal to. It will stay crossing X. Am I calling it? Yes, I'm calling it. Interesting. Crossing equals ball.pos.x. Oh, wait. Because once it goes past that, it changes, so that's not going to help us. Interesting. So the other thing we can do then is check the velocity of the ball, because if the ball is moving to the right, then we want to check the right hand paddle. Let me just show you here. If the ball is moving to the right, then the x is a positive number, and we want to check the right hand paddle. If the ball is moving to the left, x will be a negative number, and we want to check that. So let's try that one, self.vel.x greater than 0. Then we want to check the right. Oh, wait. We are the right hand paddle, right? So what we want to do is, oh, right, because we're determining which paddle we are. We are right paddle. We are left paddle. So if we're the right paddle, then we're checking if the ball.pos is greater than our position. Okay, and let's try that. Probably won't work, but oh no, it's not self.vel, it's ball. Care about the ball's velocity. Let's see. It's interesting that one, oh right, wait, that one correctly went red, but why was that one already red? If ball.velocity, oh, I see. Yeah, that's why. Because we need to know which paddle we are as well. That is annoying. You know what? Maybe we just need to have an enum for which paddle it is. That's easy enough. Pub const, what shall we call it? Which equals enum left, comma, right. And then we need which, which position, which color, and then we don't actually need most of this stuff. We just need to do switch self.which what is it, dot left, and then we just need to do, actually we don't want to delete all of that code because this one is useful. Let me just do it this way. Switch self.which, and then here we have dot right, and then here we have dot left, and then we don't need these. Okay, wait, that one is just so much easier, isn't it? I could actually even do this equals I can just do right. Oops. Local variables never mutated, right? That's fine. Good. Okay. Simplifies it. I almost feel like I need to do it like that. Yeah. A bit easier to understand. Let's see if, oh yeah, now what I need to do is I need to do that in the init, comma, which, and then comma, dot which equals which, and then here we have dot left, yep, dot right. Oops, forgot a comma. There we go. So now we are just defining which padlet is in there so that we don't need to try and figure it out. Much more straightforward. The left one is correct. The right one is correct. Perfect. So is it worth committing this? Yeah, I think it's so. Minus a feet detect. Oh, actually, before I do that, let's just check if that works on the other side. So let's do minus, and let's just speed it up a bit as well. Okay, good. So that works too. Sorry, I was just taking a swig of water there. Right. So actually what I want to do, right, I don't really want to add the vector part. So sorry, let me just do that again. Yeah, I don't want to add the ball change. So GWS, so GWD SRC main, SRC paddle, yeah, that'll do. GC feet detect collision, detect partial collision, x-axis, paddles and ball. Sold. All right. For the next one, what we want to do is we also want to check the y-axis, but that one is just adding a second check onto here. So if we are already crossing x, if we're not crossing x, we can just return. Let's do that. If not crossing x, return false. So that'll take care of that. Now what we want to do is we want to check the y bounds. So that would be if, oh no, we could just do, do I still want to add the color? Yeah, okay, let's debug it. So const colliding equals, so ball.pause.y greater than or equal to self.pause.y, because in Raylib, in our current setup, the y position is the top left corner, and then we can do and ball.pause.y less than or equal to self.pause.y plus where do we have the size? Yep, size dot y. Right? Feel like that's all we need. Colliding. Wait, can I just do it this way? Do I need to? No, I want to do return. That's a bit more explicit. Let's I just realized we're not going to see, well, that should go red. Ooh, interesting. That I think went red a bit late, didn't it? Yeah, it went red on the, let me just stash that, and let me just check this again if it's the right one. Oh right, I know why, because it shouldn't be self.pause.x, it should be self.pause.x plus self dot no, it's just size dot x, because we are at the top left. When this one goes through here, it should hit this side. When it's going the other way, this is still the top left. This is the top left, but we want to check if it's hitting this side. That's why we need to add the top left plus the width. Let's check what happens. Wait, why is that? Oh, because I stashed those changes as well. Let me just, we want minus, let's go fast. That I missed it. It was maybe I moved it a bit too fast. Yeah, got it. So let me just fix that. So GIA, which is just a git add src/paddle, GID, which is just a diff of what's in the staging, and then let me just amend the last one. So that one corrects that. Then let me just pop the stash, and then let's here. Oh wait, what happened? Would be overridden by merge. Oh right, okay. Okay, fine. I thought it would just give me a conflict, but I guess not. Let's see now. Right, so we've got this in here now. So let's just check that it hasn't broken the previous bit of code of detecting the X. It really shouldn't have. Correct. Now let's give it a Y. So Y equals, let's go with, actually, let's just, oops. Let's just not move it too fast. We want to still see when it goes past the edge, but okay, that's maybe not enough. Okay, let's do 30. But I don't want it to go off the screen, so we don't know when it's going past the paddle. Yeah, there we go. That's probably going to just, great. So let's just, for the sake of completeness, check the other side as well. Right. I was just thinking why it went red and then it switched off. It's actually a good little check to show that when it goes past the Y mark, it does detect it as not colliding. So that does a couple of good things for us there. So one thing that I was just thinking about is what we do with that check. I mean, this is fine, but I'm just wondering whether this should happen in the ball actually. But we can do that. Let me just, for the time being, let me just add that, commit that as well. GC src paddle feet add y dimension collision detection with ball. Okay, so the next part that I want to do is get the ball to figure out if it needs to switch direction. So we'll just make that, let's just make that pretty straightforward to start with. The ball is here. So let me just, but the ball doesn't have the paddles. I'm just, let me just check something. I'm just trying to figure out if I should move this to the ball and then we can pass in the paddle in there. But no, this bit is paddle logic, so I want to maintain that in here. But what I can do is pub fn is check paddle collision self. Do we need to change it? Yeah, ball comma paddle paddle, and then we don't need to return anything because we'll just update ourselves if we need to. And then let's add const paddle equals at import. Okay, so what we'll do here is this part. Oh, we have the paddle, that's fine. So if paddle, oops, then self dot, we would just want to reverse our direction for now at least. So actually let me do it this way. If, oh, it's not ball, it's self. We can, so self dot vel equals rl dot math dot vector to scale self dot vel -1. Is that a scale? I mean, I wonder if there is a vector to multiply, but oh, there is. Okay. I mean, I would have thought that vector to multiply and vector to scale do the same thing. Vector to, let's do the other one. Vector to Raylib, vector to scale. Vector to, I just want to see if it says anything. Oh, that's multiplying a vector with another vector, because that's not going to work for us, because what we really need is a scale vector multiplied by value. Yeah, okay, at least now we know. So if it is colliding, then switch direction. So let's just ball dot check paddle collision left paddle, and then ball dot check paddle collision right paddle. And oh wait, I want to go back to the ball and not let it I'm in the ball here, and let's just make that smaller. Let's just, oops, 550 is probably a bit too much. Let's see. Paddle dot const paddle. Why is it a const? Let me just see. Ball dot zig 22. All right, this colliding doesn't need to be. We only want it to be a var because we are using it to display the debug information, but let's just update it anyway. Okay, that's fine. Because it needs a pointer, we need to pass in a pointer, and this is, if you don't know this already, this is the address of operator, so that'll pick up the address of this local variable and pass that through so that it can be modified in that one. Expected type ball found is colliding self. Is that true? Yep, it just takes a maybe what I'll do is technically and correctly that should just be a const ball, because there's no reason why it should copy it and create it into a variable on the another variable on the stack. Oh, there we go. That's bounced. Oh yeah, one thing is that it's going halfway through, so we need to adjust for that as well. I'm also curious as to why it is now red. It's not going back to white. Let's fix that first. If colliding, oh, I know why, because here it's just returning false. Self dot color equals dot white. That should fix that. Yeah, that just flashes red. Okay. Before I just want to commit just the right bit of code for that, so I don't fix that in there as well. Yep, that's just is colliding. Let me GIA. What I want to do is I don't want to commit this change, but I want to commit the other ones. So -p src ball. I want to split that. I want that one. I don't want that one. I want that one. GIA src main and src paddle. Let me just see what all the changes are. So checking the paddle collision. Yeah, we're checking it with the ball. And yeah, that's fine. So let me just commit that. Feet will get the ball to bounce off the paddles. Let me now fix that one. gc -a test. Make sure paddle color changes back to white. I think that's clear enough. And the next thing that I wanted to fix is here. It's not ball.pos.x. It should be ball.pos.x. Actually, maybe we should just do it'll be different for each one, because this one will be ball.pos.x plus ball. What was it? We might not have access to it. Oh, R. That's fine. We do have access to it. Plus ball.r. And here it should be minus ball.r. One thing I meant to say in the previous episode is that I watched this in the coding channels, the coding trains channel as well. It was a coding challenge. I can't remember, 100 and something. So I've been basing my code on some of that as well. But you can see here, yeah, it's definitely bouncing off the edges correctly. And you can see that flash of red where it detects the collision, and it's going back and forth. Great. So let's just see what's different here. Yeah, we are fixing the edge, the collision detection with the correct edge. Oh, this is a fix. Collide with the correct edge of the ball. So that's pretty good. There we go. Nice. The next part, so we've got collision with the paddles. Oops, doesn't like that, eh? That's fine. I think that's a long enough video. I'll stop there for this one. In the next one, we'll do the edges, which will be easier. Actually, should I just do the edges? Because within the ball, we can just check the the Y, and then it'll work. We'll do it in the next one. So in the next one, we will do the edge detection, which should be fairly straightforward. And then we can look at scoring as well. That shouldn't be too bad. And that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.